Okay, if you used to read Circus Magazine or Hit Parade or Cream or whatever, you will love this video. What we're about to do is part 2 of this one. We did the read through on this one. We ended
August
at the
1985 Hit Parade.
August 1985 Hit Parade. We stopped at the middle when we got to the really cool Iron Maiden picture, and then we were going to pick it up from here.
We had to divide this up into 2 parts because the first half was so amazing, awesome.
Yeah.
Like there were so many parts and pieces and ads that were just, my mind was blown. Like seriously, I remember going home going, holy cow, so many things. Anyway,
all the memories, all the stuff.
Yeah.
And we had a bunch of people, I don't know if you noticed this, some of the comments actually answered some of the questions. Like we asked people, because there was a thing for Mama's Boys, we got people telling us about Mama's Boys, which songs to go listen to. Madam X, we had a bunch of people talk about how apparently Sebastian Bach sang with them.
Wow.
And I'm like, oh my gosh. So people were like answering the questions.
That's cool.
So
Thanks.
with all the stuff that we think we know about this stuff, we do stumble across things and we're like, I don't know what this is. But there's people that watch this that are like,
yeah. That's
pretty
what
awesome.
Makes it cool.
Yeah, it's
All
awesome.
right.
Okay, so let's pick this up. So there's our Iron Maiden centerfold, and then moving on, and oh my gosh, right off the bat, Stephen Pearcy. So did you read his Rat and Roll book?
I've read excerpts from it. I have not read the book.
It's actually really interesting. I gained a new appreciation for him, not just as a singer, but actually as a songwriter. I didn't realize how much influence he actually had in the overall, the music, the songwriting.
Yeah, he was really kind of an integral part of that Sunset scene, back in the day.
He was close friends with Eddie Van Halen. That's how they became buddies, was guitar playing.
That I remember. Some of the Rat songs are just awesome.
I love Rat. I saw them on the Out of the Cellar tour, like their first big tour. I saw them. I loved them. I don't think they're a great live band. I think Stephen Pearcy's not a great front man, but the music is so good. Yeah. It's catchy. It's produced well. It's great. I love them.
Out of the Cellar I liked. I mean, and then the rest of it was kind of...
I kept liking all of it. I hate to admit it.
You played it a lot in college, dude.
I loved Rat, man. And he had a great voice.
That we talked about. There he is, Robin Crosby.
Jackson. And this guy was like 6'4", just a big dude. Yeah, and he actually, when I saw him in concert, he looked kind of funny because he's so big. The guitar looked like small. It was the same thing when I saw Vandenberg in concert. Because Adrian Vandenberg, I think, is 6'7", and he's got that Les Paul on, and it looks very tall. Borderline getting into 3/4 scale ukulele style. It was very strange, but anyway, he was a great, really cool. Anyway, really cool guy apparently, but of course he's gone now.
Yeah, passed away.
Yeah. So okay, learn the art of recording. So this is some sort of going to the recording workshop. This must have been a school.
Yeah,
that you'd go and learn how to
see some of that print,
do recording, and then this is interesting. Daydreams present what's hot for you. Like they have
jewelry,
necklaces, jewelry,
earrings,
handcuffs. There you go.
Studs.
Check it out. The original Nikki Sixx, spelled correctly, apparently, so as not to get a licensing issues. Exactly. Okay, now we have Quiet Riot. Here, of course, is Rudy Sarzo. And
the real story.
Yeah. What really happened to break up the Noise Boys? It's interesting. We had a comment on one of our videos recently. I think it was on part 1 of this. Was it? He was talking about Motley Crue. Yes, it was. It was part 1 of this. And I think in the video I made a comment how I didn't like Theater of Pain.
Okay.
And a bunch of people kind of were like, it was actually really good, commented on it, which forced me to go listen to a couple things again. And there was some okay stuff in there I still don't think. Anyway, one of the guys said something that was really important. And he was so right about this because it was kind of like Theater of Pain you had to grow. You had to do something. You don't want Shout at the Devil Part 2. Otherwise, you would have had Condition Critical, which was Quiet Riot's thing. And because Quiet Riot, what did they try to do on Condition Critical? It's like, how can we recreate Metal Health like to to the track, because they even did a Slade song, Mama We're All Crazy Now. Like, how can we recreate it? And his point was, look, they had to go to Theater of Pain and change things up a little bit, because you just have to.
Yeah.
And he actually makes a really good point with that. I just didn't happen to think Theater of Pain was that great.
Yeah.
But whatever.
I mean, it's funny that you mentioned Slade, Quiet Riot, that connection, because Come On Feel the Noise is not a Quiet Riot song.
Not even their song.
It's not. It's a Slade song. You can't get lightning in a bottle twice. I mean, they were at the right place, right time, right song. Maybe not their song, but still.
Yeah. So Come On Feel the Noise and Metal Health ended up doing pretty well too, which was their song. And then they had the Slick Black Cadillac, which was okay, but that was actually a Randy Rhoads song,
right?
By the way, in case anybody's wondering about that. But anyway, and this is the kind of the classic lineup of Quiet Riot. So Rudy Carlos, actually he passed away
recently too.
Recently, he was the last holdout in Quiet Riot. Frankie Benali, and then Kevin DuBro's gone too. Mm-hmm. Wow. So let's see, turning the page. What is this? Black Lace Approach. So this is, okay, important albums. Black Lace, apparently this is a band. Don't know who they were. Pauline Gillen, Viper. I remember hearing about Viper. Hit Parade or Rock Pole, Winfrey, Accept, Metal Heart, or Rat Invasion of Your Privacy. Metal Heart, remember that album? Do you remember Accept?
I do.
I used to really. Anyway, they were pretty cool. I did not care for that album, but Legends of Rock. Here we have a pretty interesting picture of Aerosmith over here on the right. So, yeah, they were okay. Here we got Black Sabbath, Iommi, Butler, Ward. Prepare to regain metal crown.
Interesting.
Yeah, and this they. I love Black Sabbath, but man, the 80s were such a mess for Black Sabbath.
Yeah.
Even though they ended up putting out some really good stuff. The two three Dio albums were excellent. And then even the Ian Gillan stuff. Yeah. There was some good stuff on the
I liked them.
The Ian Gillan album.
It's kind of hard again when you're on. Like, how high can that wave keep going of success? And, you got to either reinvent yourself or keep up, but, or stick to what you got, and eventually the cycle comes back around, right?
And I've made a bunch of videos on this channel about these guys, and I love talking about Black Sabbath and that whole thing. They were so cool. Anyway, so we'll do more videos about them in the near future. Autograph. Turn up the radio.
Big song.
So it was so huge. I actually, I've got a whole story about them. I met the keyboardist. I actually met him in Idaho. I was playing a show up in Pocatello, Idaho.
And you
probably
met the
25 years ago, and I met the keyboardist for Autograph. He was just at this party at somebody's house. We went to this party after this gig, and I'm just talking to this dude with this long hair. I had no idea who he was. And he's like, remember that song, Turn Up the Radio? And he's like, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And then later I saw pictures of him, like, that really was that dude.
Crazy, right?
Yeah, nice guy. So Dio, Lights, Camera, speaking of Black Sabbath. And so this is when, so many things were happening around this time. And Dio, he always had that kind of medieval.
Yeah. It's kind of cool.
That was his shtick. That's what he did. Vocal great. You know what? We're going to reveal secrets behind his videos.
I mean, Rainbow in the Dark, bro. That is such a great song.
It was a great song.
The video,
he's standing up on that rooftop.
Yeah.
But he's actually the video on We Rock, I think. Or no. Last in Line, the Last in Line video. Yeah, I mean, come on. I actually, you know what's so funny? I watched that a few days ago just because it's so silly. But you know what? He's just awesome. I can't remember. He's just awesome. But I love Dio, and we're going to come back and read some of these articles
for sure
and talk about him because they're so great. Except Udo Dirkschneider, there's just nobody like him. There's nobody like him. His voice,
pretty unique.
He even did you can find like recent stuff that he's done. He does one. I think it's a Queen cover, and he's being a janitor in this video. And he's like,
really?
however, it's out. Like you can go find that on YouTube right now. And he had such a unique voice.
Yeah.
Just this little 5 foot tall.
I want to say I saw Accept either the first or second time I saw Kiss live. Accept was the opening act.
Okay. I never saw them.
Yeah.
And I
had no idea, like what, German,
I loved
right?
so much of their stuff. I was introduced to the album Restless and Wild by a guy that was, I have a whole thing about that on this channel, this dude that was into the Dead Kennedys and punk rock, but he also liked Accept. And I went over to his house one day after school. We were talking about heavy metal. We were just somehow came across each other walking home, and he says, dude, we started talking about heavy metal. He goes, you got to come to my house right now. So I went to his house. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I went to his house. He's a bass player, plays in a punk band, but he knew I was into heavy metal, and he puts on Fast as a Shark from the album Restless and Wild. The one that goes, hi dee, hi do, hi da. You know the song. And it's just this little thing at the beginning, this little folk song, and it sounds like a record, and all of a sudden you hear Udo Dirkschneider go, scream, and it's just this fast, and all of a sudden oh my gosh, this is a cool thing. Had it the next day, and then Balls to the Wall came out.
I mean, even that
Similarly.
story, right? You talk about fraternity.
Yeah.
I mean, yes. How many guys are you walking home from school and he's like, hey, come to my place, I'm going to show you. I mean, 2025, you're going, you're not having anybody go to your place. It's just like the social norms are so different.
Yeah, I learned about so many things. I had a guy that I met on a bus going to school, and he was into the Dixie Dregs. Next thing you know, I'm over at his house like several times in the afternoon just playing Dregs albums. And it was like I'm getting introduced. I mean, Steve Morse, he plays for Deep Purple now, but I mean, I was hearing about him way back when just because you'd meet all these people, right, and you had vinyl.
No,
and not everybody had it because
right,
where right now Spotify, it's like, oh, I got no, I have to go to your house
to listen to,
and we're going to break out the record,
unique.
Yes, and then we're going to spend the next 2 hours listening to the Dixie Dregs. And we're just going to put it on. We're just going to sit there. It was so cool. It was such an amazing
thing. About it, it was a harmless time. I mean, I'm sure absolutely stuff happened. I mean, we say harmless, but again, it's that kind of like love of music.
Yeah.
Was kind of a safe space,
Yeah. You're right. Exactly. So what's this one? Explosive ATI video, Night Flight, 16 hours of sights and sounds, explosive TV guide called it. Best pop music. Oh, this must be, Night Flight? Is this a magazine? Oh, it's a show.
A show on USA Cable
USA Network.
Huh. That's kind of cool.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay.
Kiss with Vinny and Eric Carr.
Oh, yeah. Check that out. There you go.
Pat Benatar.
With the makeup, which wasn't around very long.
Yeah. Was that Pat Benatar?
That's got to be Pat Benatar.
I don't know who these people are here, but.
How interesting. That's Def Leppard, right? Yeah. Okay.
That's cool.
Okay, so what's this one? Instrumentally speaking. There's another. This must be somebody writing about. There's another new name.
It's like I think it's guitars. Like an ad, and it's an article for
talking about different instruments.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, this is the same
maker,
thing here.
Yeah.
Never heard of these guys.
Yeah, they probably.
There's Carvin. Knew that brand.
Dude, that was a cool brand.
Knew that brand
for a long
too.
time.
Carvin, really was.
They were like strictly mail order, I think, if I remember right.
I don't know. Carvin, remember this?
Stores, I thought.
This is these always had kind of a cool, interesting sound. The slide guitar, and then here is Wasp.
So you can get subscribe.
Blackie and what's his name? Help me out.
Dude, I was not a big Wasp guy.
I wasn't either, but he oh my gosh, I'm not kidding you. I was watching because he's the one.
All right, you got me lost.
On the show, the Western Civilization,
Decline of
Western Civilization.
Pamela DeBar's.
Mark Holmes. Oh my gosh,
Chris Holmes.
Chris Holmes. He's the one sitting in the swimming pool, drinking. That's him. That famous scene. That's him. So, and he actually still puts music out. Because I went down the rabbit hole with him a few days ago. I don't know why I did. I just happened to be going, wonder what Chris Holmes is doing. And then I find he's got these songs out, and he's.
If you think about it, like,
Blackie
it's kind of
Lawless.
interesting to see and go back that way. And you have these tangents. You're like, wonder what he's doing.
I know.
What,
and now we have the ability to do it. Yep. Jimmy Page with The Firm. That was kind of a big deal back in the day. We've done some videos on this channel about that. Dokken.
Love Dokken.
I used to love Dokken so much, man. And George Lynch was such a cool guitar player. And when Don could sing, he had one of the great.
Yeah, he is a
great voices. It was pure, and it was I loved, man. I loved these guys. Under Lock and Key and Tooth and Nail. Those two albums were really so fantastic, and I loved those things. Okay.
Yeah.
King Kobra, Ready to Strike, their debut album. Do you ever listen to that?
Not really.
I
know who,
Carmine Appice.
Carmine Appice, yeah.
This was one of his. He had so many different bands.
Yeah.
These guys, this album, the first album, Ready to Strike. And then they had another one after that called Thrill of a Lifetime, which I didn't like very much. But this album, I have it in this collection. I have both of them. Is so good. If you like just really good grindy 80s metal, like 80s metal, I mean, and they look like it too. Come on, right? Look at this.
I think visually you got four blonde dudes.
Yep.
And then Carmine.
Carmine, yeah.
So was it Carmine's deal? He put the band together?
I think so. He's a drummer, of course, obviously. This is Mark Free. Who was the singer? I don't remember any of these other guys, but they were, man. This
Faceless,
album,
big hair dudes.
Man, it was the album. The song "Ready to Strike" is, again, if you like '80s metal, if you like the sound of '80s metal,
I'll check it
there's
out.
Nothing, in my opinion. There's stuff that's as good, but there's nothing better. This is great.
This is what's really cool
album.
about going through this is we mentioned Mama's Boys earlier. I'll go back, listen to King Kobra.
Yeah, that first album,
Kobra
Ready to
with
Strike,
a K.
with a K, is, and if anybody watching this can vouch for that, this album, if you like, again, 80s metal.
Okay, you're putting that out there.
This guy's voice is similar to Don Dawkins in that it's very singy.
Okay.
It's awesome, man. Loved it. Okay, here we go.
More Wasp.
Back to Wasp. More than Kiss clones. More than mere Kiss clones. Like I said, I saw them opening up, and they were silly.
Yeah.
But I don't know. They were. Blackie Lawless was kind of an interesting character too. So then, song index, Forever Man.
Was it lyrics?
Okay, so we have an Eric Clapton
songs.
song. Go West. We close out. You know what? I don't know any of these three songs. I couldn't say anything about them. I don't know.
Huh.
Lillian Love, Jufria. I kind of remember that song. All She Wants to Do Is Dance. Don Henley. I remember that song. Over $8,000 in prizes awarded. What is this? Draw Me.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's...
You may win one of live $1,495 art scholarship. Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
I think that was a real big ad back in the day.
People like advertising a school.
Yeah.
For artists. How interesting. Okay, so here we have
more mail order stuff.
Yeah, so we have a lot of recognizable people here. I mean, there's Dee Snider up there.
Yeah.
It's hard to, again, I'm having a hard time seeing it really clearly, but that looks like, is that David Lee Roth?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, there's a few. The print makes it a little differently. There's the Crew.
VHS
Van
Beta.
Halen, yeah.
Mail in
So
the
what's
United
this down here?
States.
Presenting heavy metal hot shots. And there's Motley Crue. There's Rob Halford, David Lee Roth. Okay. And then what do we have here? Satin jackets, tapestries, t-shirts, posters, headbands.
This is where you got your gear,
Don't
man.
come around here no more. Tom Petty. That was yesterday. Great Foreigner song off of what was the Foreigner album that this one was on? It was.
I don't know my Foreigner that well.
It was the one right before Agent Provocateur. Foreigner.
But yeah, I mean, think about how you're going to get your gear, right?
Yeah.
Or your posters. Again, 85, it was blowing up. So a lot of stuff. You ever order any of this stuff?
No, I don't think so.
Just went to the record store and whatever they had.
Yeah, this is actually the one that had "I Want to Know What Love Is." This album, Foreigner.
Yeah,
it was a great tune. They actually Foreigner had some really good
song.
stuff. Yeah.
They have had a lot of good stuff.
Yeah. So then we have, what is this? Campus is number 1. Heavy metal earrings are hot. You can buy your Iron
And where are you going to get
earrings.
Where are you going to get
your handcuffs? Where are you going to get your handcuffs?
How are you going to get all your hard rock gear?
Yeah.
Because didn't you want to be and look like some of these guys?
Yes, although I never.
You brought up Decline of Western Civilization Part 2.
That's what it was.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, in that movie, you see some of these people are like, they are living the Hollywood lifestyle. They are wanting to be. I mean, what are some of those people doing today? They're not looking with the hair. I mean, I have no hair now.
There's a few of them that are trying.
Rob Halford look, you know. There's the Firm again.
Radioactive.
Which I do love Paul Rogers. That's right. That's Paul Rogers.
Yeah, Paul Rogers.
Love
right
his
there.
voice.
He was great.
Yeah.
He was great. Bad Company. And then of course
a lot
there's
of
Jimmy
Bad
Page.
Company stuff too.
Bad Company's
Great
so
album.
much good
Great
stuff.
band.
It's so much great
Yeah.
stuff. We have a whole bunch of their stuff in the collection. Say You're Wrong. Julian Lennon. I have this album, and I have the one after this, and the one after that, and I think I even have the one after that one. I think there was 4 of them total.
You were really big
I loved
into
Julian Lennon. I saw him in concert on this tour, and weirdly enough, he was one of the most class act live performers I'd ever seen. He was so
for somebody that
good.
really, I mean, you hear a lot in today's nepotism kids, nepotism babies, you know. I don't think I mean, obviously, your dad is John Lennon.
What are you going to do? Talk about a shadow.
Murdered. Yeah, and a shadow. And, I mean, I think he kind of, again, we talk about, you know, going out of your way to not really be exactly, you know, step out of the shadow a little bit. But I think he just was a humble, great artist.
He really was. He was a great singer. He was a really good songwriter. And I mean, he really amazingly was. So Super Rock T-shirts and posters. We have all the important people there.
Yeah, we're getting close to the end. These
close
are
to the end.
ads.
These are the cheap ads.
Back of the magazine.
The back of the magazine. We actually, I think, have this one in the collection. We'll bust this one out. Looks like driver's license. Ooh, what is this? Are these fake licenses?
Fake IDs.
How funny.
How
Steel
funny
Warriors,
is that?
newest masters of metal. So here's a thing for. Do you remember Steel Warriors? I don't remember anything about them. Oh, Follow Your Heart, Triumph. More lyrics right there. Yearbook, Hit Parader. Look at all these. Yeah, all these people, man. We said this before. These pages like this were just as important as I'd sit and just study. Read all the words.
Did you get that magazine? Oh, I missed that magazine because you weren't going back and couldn't look them up. You either had it or didn't have it, right?
Yeah. Wow. Let's see. Hit Parader's Heavy Metal Heroes. And these are just past issues.
Yeah, just self-promoting. I mean, you already printed the magazine. Might as well. If I got some left over, I'm going to sell.
Right.
I'm going to sell them.
Remember John Parr? Man.
Some old stuff. I mean, it is a throwback.
Star Master. What is this? Some sort of a guitar that they were selling? Looks like a...
Yeah, it looks like a Jackson Randy Rhoads wannabe copy.
Yeah.
Yep.
It almost looked like a 3/4
For
scale
only
too.
$2.49.
And there we go. King Kobra again. Hunger. Great tune. Such a cool tune, man. I love these guys. So Robin George, I think that was one we talked about last time. We didn't know.
I have no idea
who he was, and I still don't think I do. Okay, let's
posters and T-shirts.
Then
more
Alan Parsons, who is a kind of a legend to say the least. There's somebody with, I think that's a BC Rich. No. Then all these T-shirts, posters, blah, 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 on and on. So many things. Just Another Night by Mick Jagger. Whoa. Let's see.
Kiss
buttons.
Without the
Personalized. I love buttons. I love whatever this is. We should order some of these. Guitar surgery video shows step-by-step how to easy but essential guitar maintenance.
Etsy store just printing buttons.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. If they probably graduated to that at this point. Robert Bruce Button Company. We'll have to check see if Robert Bruce is still making his buttons. Satin pants.
Again.
Hey, they're out of stock on that one.
Yeah, that one's sold out.
We're not going to be able to get that one. Look at all these.
Yeah.
Man, these were all the, man, dude, I would have.
They were always on the magazine racks. You're looking at them. But yeah, we're getting to the end. What a great.
Man, these were so much fun.
Trip down memory lane,
On tour with a Washburn. Wow.
Ace had one of those. That Washburn solo or whammy bar on one of his Les Pauls.
Is that right?
Because you didn't have to the Floyd Rose, you got to cut through the body, right?
Yeah.
I think that Washburn one just kind of bolted on.
Interesting.
Save the sustain of the Les Paul. Can you hear that sustain? You hear it?
I had a Les Paul, somebody that once somebody had modded and stuck. It was one of the guitarists for the band Firefall. Remember them? I bought a Les Paul from the guitarist for Firefall, and he had modded it and stuck a whammy bar in this 75 or whatever it was Les Paul. It was so weird, but I still bought it, and it was anyway.
Because in the 80s, nobody was playing Les Pauls until you Slash.
So you would do things like that to your Les Paul.
I guess.
It was so weird, man.
I hope you guys like this trip down memory lane. This is part 2. It's just, it's almost like information nostalgia overload.
We have the most amazing comment sections on our videos. They're so great. And thanks for commenting. Thanks for liking. Please subscribe. We have so many cool things coming up this year. And if you like this, you probably know other people that like this too. And if you're on Facebook or Instagram or wherever you happen to be, people that your friends of yours probably would love it. Please copy this link, share it with them. We'd really appreciate that. And with that, have yourself a fantastic day.
Rock on.